You're listening to This Week in E-Commerce, the Ecom Nation podcast. Dive into the top online retail headlines with your hosts, Paul Waddy and Mal Chia. Let's load up the cart. This Week in E-Commerce, episode 68. Mal Chia here, flying solo this week, while Paul is held up with some other priorities going on as we all limp towards the finish line of 2024. Now, it has been a hell of a year, and we were hoping to bring you a predictions episode today, but we are going to be postponing that for another week. So I believe we're going to be trying to do a live predictions episode next week, where we'll be recapping our predictions for this year and how we went, and then also talking about what our predictions are for 2025. Speaking of which, I did recently write an Inside Retail article talking about my top 3 marketing predictions for retail, for e-commerce in 2025. So look out for that coming out very, very soon. And also should mention as well that Klaviyo recently released their Klaviyo handbook, which has different case studies from many Australian brands and how they are using the Klaviyo platform. And Ecom Nation, very proud to have been a partner in that. We have 2 clients featured. So we've got Budgie Smuggler as well as ZeroCo. So talking about our involvement with both of those, which is really, really cool. Anyway, we're going to jump into the news stories for the last week. And while we've been saying all week that news doesn't seem to be letting up, I got to say, it does actually seem that the last week, things have started to slow down just a little bit. And even in all the calls I've been having, I can see people starting to wind down and, kind of just casually putting up their Boxing Day sales, or at least planning them out anyway, getting ready to take a well-deserved break after what has been a very, very hectic year. And obviously at this time of year, as we've just finished Cyber and as we lead into Boxing Day. So I hope everyone's having a great, relaxing week, final week for most people, I think, before they go on Christmas break. We're just going to cover off some of the highlights. So first story off the rank is from online florist Meg's Flowers, who have been fined $1 million by the federal court, so the ACCC, the Australian Competition and Consumer Commission, for making misleading claims on their website. So in particular, it's been found that they advertised between 2019 and 2022 on Google Ads primarily, also on various advertising, to show that they had physical stores around the country, when in actual fact, they did not. So the ads in question reference the fact that they existed and they either had domain names or websites which implied that they had a local store in suburbs like Ashgrove, Tewantin, Lane Cove, Mawson Lake, Sunbury, Ellenbrook, all around the country. But it found out that they didn't actually have the stores there, even though they were promoting it as such. So they were really showing that while they were saying they had a local presence, all the flowers were being either fulfilled by one of their 11 stores or sometimes by subcontractors. Now, this is actually something which we've been seeing more and more of this year, with more and more brands feeling quite bold to actually be making misleading claims. So in this case, Meg's Flowers, I should say, they were found out. It took a few years, but they were found out, and they've eventually been fined by $1 million. But we're seeing a lot more brands do this as well. So either making claims about where things are being manufactured or making things about how long things take to deliver. And we can see that this has actually happened a few times this year. So for instance, Mosaic brands, who've been in the news a lot, as you would know, Mosaic brands were fined quite a substantial sum earlier this year for making representations about how long fulfillment would be for their products, when in fact it was going to take much, much longer. And they declined to give refunds and a few other things like that. And they were fined quite a significant amount. And now we're seeing smaller retailers like Meg's Flowers who are also being hit with this as well. So this is just a really strong reminder to everyone that in this day and age where trust is at a premium, you really need to be careful with what you are saying online, to make sure that you are actually making truthful claims about your product. Because no matter what size you are, you can be sure that if you are making a claim and you do annoy a customer, if you annoy a customer enough, and the right sort of customer, they are going to take this to that next level. They are going to be reporting you to the ACCC that you are making misleading claims about what your product is, about or potentially your terms of service. And again, we're seeing this a lot. We've seen Adrian Portelli, who's in the news with his company over there, making claims about how you can win money, that it's through a private membership system, when in fact they've been running an illegal lottery. So you're seeing more and more of this come up, which, to be honest, I'm quite here for, because at the end of the day, it is the government's responsibility to create a fair environment for customers, for the consumer out there, so that they can actually shop with trust. Because if a consumer can go out there and shop with trust, it means that they're going to be more willing to spend money. It's when people fear what may happen that they don't act, which is why in the early days of e-commerce, people were so reluctant to buy. Because why would I want to buy something if I can't see it, if I can't touch it? Do I know where this is coming from? Is this coming from down the road, or is it coming from, an anonymous warehouse, in the outer suburbs? But then we had COVID, where we didn't have a choice. So we started to trust buying online more. And we saw that massive growth in online shopping. This is all about trust. And it's vital that consumers feel that they can trust where they're buying from, that they can trust the retailers. So it's really important that we are held to this standard. So look, I'm here for this. I'm here for the watchdog to actually be monitoring and being a watchdog and making sure that retailers are doing the right thing. That while it may seem punitive to us as retailers, the net benefit it's going to have for the sector is immeasurable. Because if we can get more people to trust buying from their stores, they're going to buy more, and that's going to help all of us. Now, speaking of this holiday period as well, that we have also seen through another story from Perfect Corp, which is actually an AI platform. So again, take this with a grain of salt, that they're reporting in the US that now the majority of shoppers in the US have used some sort of AI technology to assist with their shopping. So 52% of shoppers who were surveyed in this study had said that they had tried some sort of AI-driven experience, like a virtual assistant or a virtual try-on technology, or product search options. So this is not surprising that more people are using it, but the number, though, is staggering. To think that so many of us now are using some level of AI to be able to improve their shopping, in particular helping them find new gifts. I know that Amazon, for instance, have released their product over the Cyber Weekend, which allowed you to go in there and actually, which was an AI tool to help you find the right gift for the right person. I myself have been using ChatGPT and Claude to do this as well, but it looks like there's more and more of these products coming out of market to assist shoppers, either when you're on site or when you're in a marketplace, to be able to help find the right product for you. And you've got products like Try with Mirror, for instance, who've been spruiking for quite a while, and from what I can understand, doing a really good job. You've got Prezi, again, also with their product as well, to be that virtual AI shopping assistant to help people make that decision faster. So look, I'm going to take this number with a grain of salt, but even if it's half this, it's still significantly further along than what I would have expected. And I expect that you're going to be seeing more and more of this as well as we lead into next year. Because the other thing which we found this year as well is that investment in AI actually increased. So there was some speculation that we may be at the peak, we may already be at peak AI, and the wave was going to start crashing to some degree. But what we've actually seen throughout this year is an investment in AI continues to grow. And even from NVIDIA, who is the largest AI chip maker in the world, they've seen demand continue to grow as well. So more and more people are demanding more AI products, more AI in their lives, which is leading to more companies doing that. And the amazing thing about NVIDIA is that the report was that if Microsoft and Facebook stopped buying chips from NVIDIA, there would be more than enough demand out there to cover that loss from Microsoft and Facebook not buying NVIDIA chips anymore. So the AI tsunami is going to continue into 2025. And I think while this statistic already says that it's going to be the majority, I think next year we're going to see more and more studies start to show how AI is going to be inevitable everywhere when you look at retail. And I can see that NORA, the National Online Retail Association, are also reading the tea leaves and starting to see that as well, because they're now investing in a generative AI conference next year, which is going to be really exciting, and I'm one which I'm definitely keen to find out more about. I think if you're interested too, you should go to the NORA website, find out more, but obviously go there after you listen to this podcast. And then the next final story, which I'm going to be covering off today, is about Shopify, where Shopify are making a really big play into ads, which is inevitably where a lot of these platforms wind up. Now, what a lot of you probably don't realize is that outside of Facebook and Google, who are the number 1 and number 2 ad platforms in the world, the number 3 ad platform in the world, which generates the 3rd most revenue from ads, Amazon. Amazon are the 3rd largest ad platform in the world. And this is obviously all the Amazon ads from all the Amazon merchants who are looking to promote their listing in Amazon or buy the display space, which is available on their emails, etc. So it's a really big space. And now this year as well, we've seen a lot of the streaming platforms, whether they be Netflix or Amazon Prime, also start to offer ads in their platform. So now we're seeing that Shopify have started pushing into ads as well. And they're making a really, really big play into ads as they start moving towards growth and profitability. Amazon are really now pushing Shopify campaigns, so shop campaigns, I should say, making it available to all their merchants in the US and Canada. Now, these are the ads which will appear in the shop ad, which now most people who are purchasing using Shopify payments would be served this, would have this app downloaded to be able to do their 2-factor authentication, but also to be able to track their parcels as well. You're starting to see more and more campaigns in the US leverage this, where retailers will now be able to target people based on their previous shopping behavior. So you'll be able to not only retarget your customers, but also target customers like your customers. So as an acquisition platform, that's only going to continue to grow, particularly as Shopify continue to grow in prevalence and more merchants now selling on Shopify. And they saw something like about 34% increase in the number of merchants selling on Shopify in the last 12 months. So you can imagine that's only going to continue to grow as you start to see more people move off legacy platforms like Magento and WooCommerce, into Shopify, if not one of the others. So as that grows, Shopify are now making a really, really big push into the Amazon space, into the advertising space. And interestingly enough, are also then promoting those listings on the Shop app in Meta and Google. So you can see that they are also really pushing towards bringing people to the Shop app to be able to transact. So not just using it as a place to track your recent purchases, but also making it a shopping destination in itself to connect through to all the merchants on the platform. So you can imagine there's every likelihood that the Shop app is going to become the largest marketplace in the world, where you'll be able to access countless number of retailers and all their wares on there, and also then be able to retarget and also get served ads to then shop from other retailers in there. So from a consumer point of view, that discovery aspect can be very vastly accelerated by ensuring that you're going to be visible on the Shop app as more and more people spend time on the Shop app. But the other consequence you're starting to see now as well, as they start advertising this on on Meta and Google, is that they're also going to be driving up your advertising costs too, because now they're competing in that space with product listings for the same product you're selling on your website. So while it may be driving traffic back to someone purchasing from you, they're also driving up your cost if you're also bidding for that same customer and that same placement as well. So food for thought. Are Shopify going to become your best friend and your worst enemy? Are they going to become your best frenemy? That's all we've got time for on this very, very quick episode, because it is a hectic week as we wrap up for the year. Paul and I will hopefully be back with a very, very special Christmas Day or maybe Christmas Eve episode of This Week in E-Commerce to do our 2025 predictions. So have a fantastic week. Hope you're winding down. Enjoy some eggnog, enjoy some fruit mince pie, or whatever your holiday delight is. And we'll see you back here next week on This Week in E-Commerce.